You guys almost gave me a heart attack. Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm your host, Young Buffett, and it is an absolute pleasure to be speaking to you today. You guys almost gave me a heart attack. So I don't know if you've seen it on the CLOV subreddit or if you're in the Discord and you saw a SEC filing come through. Listen, let me show you guys something. Greenoaks Capital. These guys own 75 million shares of CLOV. Okay, so they bought CLOV, estimated anywhere from $7.19 to about $15. They're estimating an average of about, go away. They're estimating an average of about $11.02 cost basis or so. These guys have so many shares that anything they do is scary, right? Somebody posted in the Discord this SEC filing, and it is a Schedule 13GA, which is a shorter version of a 13G. Now, when this got posted, people thought that they moved over Class B. No, people thought they moved Class A over to Class B shares, okay? That did not happen, all right? Let me show you something. A Schedule 13G, if you do not know, it is a form that is used to report a party's ownership of a stock that exceeds 5% of a company's total stock issued. Okay? These guys own 75 million shares, right? They posted this 13G. If they sold, if they moved something, if they did something, that's what it would look like. It would be a Form 4. A Form 4 is filed with the SEC whenever there's a material change in the holdings of the company insiders or the people who own 5% or more of the stock. So this kind of had people a little skittish, a little panicky. What I do want to talk about is what would happen if these guys did move over Class A to Class B. So Class A, they have a lot of voting rights. They have a lot of power within the company. Now, if 75 million shares get poured into the current float of the Class B, that means it dilutes the shares. In my opinion, and if you look back in history, share dilution is almost never a good thing. But there are some silver linings that you can find if something like that happens. A potential good news headline would be they're positioning themselves to be able to sell shares if it runs up, maybe. Maybe they're opening up their hands to be able to do that. Bad news is they're giving up and they're getting ready to sell out. Okay, that could be one potential bad news. Another good news twist could be that, hey, Clover is doing great. We don't need voting power anymore, and we just want that share flexibility. Okay, so that's another potential option if they did decide to move 75 million shares. All this is saying is that they have a lot of shares that they can move over. They can move over. They have not moved anything. Okay, nothing's changed. It's gonna be okay. But yeah, that's what that is. What else? Okay, so if they did move it over, the stock would move slower, by the way. More float requires more money to move the stock up and down. They would then be able to lend shares out. There was a lot of people speculating a lot of different things, a lot of different scenarios. Another possible scenario would be earnings is coming up, so they're opening up their position to be able to be more flexible. But all you really need to know is Greenoaks, they're a capital firm. They invest in technology companies. They're a long-term capital firm. They don't really day trade much, so I wouldn't freak out. No big deal. It's going to be okay. Jumping over to Ape Wisdom, covers Wall Street Bets, Wall Street Bets New, Wall Street Bets Elite, stocks. Whoa, did this change? It covers Wall Street Bets, Wall Street Bets New, Wall Street Bets Elite, stocks, stock market, investing, SPACs, options, and day trading. I've said this like 30 times, and I think they just added stock market. That's why it threw me off. Interesting. Okay. So this talks about the most talked about stocks on Reddit in the past 24 hours. Number 1 being Microvast. Number 2 being AMC. They had earnings yesterday. I did a full report on it, by the way. If you guys are interested, go check that out on my YouTube. Third most talked about ticker is SPY. And number 4, making its way up the chart, Clover Health. Now, if we click on this, it tells us the overall sentiment in some nearby words. Looking at a 70% positive sentiment here. Nearby words including like, more, up, buy, calls, moon, earnings, puts, bought, right, AMC, last, back, wish, and the F word. So overall, positive sentiment. Overall, seems pretty legit. Overall, people are positioning for earnings tomorrow. And if you hop over to Swaggy Stocks, it shows one of my favorite charts. But before we get to my favorite chart, CLOV, number 2. Most talked about stock on Wall Street Bets. Comment volume is up a lot. Now, this is my favorite chart right here. So, look at this. The stock price went up, then comment volume went up, both positive and negative sentiment. But the stock price went right back down. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Dark pool data, always interesting, always sketchy, always manipulating. Net short volume went up, so there is a lot more dark pool activity going on. I don't know if they are buying there, selling on us. I don't know if they're selling there, buying here. I don't know if they're borrowing there, if they're shorting. I don't know where they're shorting. The key operative word there is I don't know, because that's what a dark pool is. It's dark. We don't know. So all you really need to know is that the activity is increasing. There's a lot of things happening, and that makes sense because earnings is coming up. So quick recap, if you are new here, which by the way, hold on, rant time. 78% of you guys were new to the channel. 78% of you guys were not subscribed. What? On my last video, I was looking at my analytics. I'm like, what? Anyways, just subscribe. Now, we bought 100 shares at $13.80. We bought another 100 at $10.15. We bought 5 and we bought 3 from premium that we sold on puts. Then bought another 50 at $8.20. Then bought another 50 at $8.90. Then bought one more share at $8.51. And we haven't bought anything since, share-wise. We do have the August 20th $10 call. I believe we are down on this. Hold on. We are down about 54% on that position. That's okay. We're just holding it until expiration. We're holding it through earnings. We're going to see what happens. Jumping over to September 17th, I noticed that this options chain did not have as many options as the other ones did. Like November, for example, has up to 40. But what's interesting is so does August. So again, a lot of options activity. If you look at the volume here, a lot of people are buying money. They're not buying money. They're putting down a lot of money. Then if you look at the implied volatility over here, CLOV is currently pricing in plus or minus about $1 move for the next 3 weeks or so. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out and moves around. Earnings is tomorrow. And the biggest thing I'm going to be looking for is forward future guidance. How are they going to do? Tomorrow's intraday stock movements should be interesting. We should probably not move much. People are just honestly going to hold and wait and see what happens. And I'm really excited to see what happens tomorrow. I will post a video recapping everything from the earnings call. So you don't want to miss that. Definitely tune in. And with that pretty much covers everything. So if you have any questions or anything, if you have any questions about SEC forms, I'm your guy. Comment down any question you have. I get back to pretty much everything. So with that, I'll see you guys on the next video.